Have you ever dreamed of visiting a place so secretive, so forbidden, that it feels like stepping into another world? North Korea, the Hermit Kingdom, dangles that dream with its lavish resorts and mysterious allure yet keeps its doors locked tight. But here's the twist. Behind this paradox lies a tale of ambition, betrayal, and geopolitical chess that most people completely miss. If you don't know this story, you're missing one of the strangest chapters in modern history.
To broken dreams. It was meant to be the world's tallest hotel, a beacon of North Korea's ambition. Yet, for decades, it stood empty, a hollow shell. This is North Korea's tourism paradox, a country that pours billions into resorts and attractions, but makes it nearly impossible for you to visit. Why? For adventurers like you, North Korea is the ultimate forbidden fruit, a chance to peek into a society shrouded in mystery, where every street corner feels like a scene from a Cold War thriller. But the reality is far less glamorous. Most people assume North Korea is completely sealed off, a place where no outsider can set foot. That's not entirely true. There have been moments when the country cracked open its doors, welcoming thousands of tourists, mostly from China, eager to experience the enigma. But these moments are fleeting, and the doors slam shut just as quickly. The problem lies in a delicate dance between need and fear. North Korea craves the foreign currency that tourism brings: dollars, euros, yuan to prop up its struggling economy. Yet, the regime is terrified of what you might bring with you: ideas, questions, or a smartphone camera that could expose the cracks in their carefully crafted image. It's like inviting guests to a party but blindfolding them to control what they see. Since 2020, this fear has locked North Korea in its tightest isolation yet, leaving you wondering, why build resorts if no one can visit? Let's unravel this bizarre history to find out. To understand why North Korea teases the world with tourism only to pull back, let's take a journey through time, like explorers charting an uncharted land. After the Korean War left North Korea in ruins, tourism was the last thing on anyone's mind. The country was focused on survival, rebuilding cities like Pyongyang with Soviet aid. But by the 1980s, the regime saw a new opportunity. Tourism could bring in cash and showcase their ideology. In 1989, North Korea hosted the World Festival of Youth and Students, a global communist event that drew 22,000 visitors from 177 countries. To prepare, they built hotels like the Koryo and Sosan in Pyongyang, hoping to impress the world. The start of this ambition was the Ryugyong Hotel. Imagine a futuristic pyramid, 330 meters tall, with 3,000 rooms, designed to outshine Singapore's Westin Stamford as the world's tallest hotel. Construction began in 1987, with plans to finish by the 1989 festival. But here's the twist: the Soviet Union's collapse in 1991 plunged North Korea into economic chaos. By 1992, the Ryugyong was abandoned, a concrete skeleton haunting Pyongyang's skyline for decades. It became a global laughingstock, dubbed the Hotel of Doom, a stark reminder of North Korea's overreach. The 1990s were brutal for North Korea. The loss of Soviet aid triggered the arduous March, a famine that killed hundreds of thousands. Yet, even in this darkness, the regime saw tourism as a lifeline. In 1998, they launched the Mount Kumgang International Tourist Zone, a joint venture with South Korea's Hyundai Asan Corporation. Picture a pristine mountain resort where South Koreans could visit, separated from the rest of North Korea by strict controls. Between 1998 and 2008, nearly 2 million South Koreans flocked there, injecting millions in foreign currency into the economy. But here's where it gets messy. In 2008, a North Korean soldier shot and killed a South Korean tourist, Park Wang-ya, who had wandered into a restricted area. North Korea claimed she ignored warnings, but South Korean forensic evidence suggested she was standing still or walking slowly when shot. The incident sparked outrage, and South Korea halted all tours. Mount Kumgang became a ghost town, its hotels left to rot. This tragedy showed how fragile North Korea's tourism experiments could be. One misstep, and the whole operation collapses. When Kim Jong-un took power in 2011, he brought a new vision. Educated in Switzerland, he launched the Byungjin policy, aiming to boost both nuclear weapons and the economy. Tourism became a key piece of this puzzle, not just for money, but to project an image of progress. New projects sprouted: the Masakryong ski resort in 2014, complete with a retired Austrian gondola lift, and the Wonsan Kalma Beach Resort, a sprawling 5-kilometer beachfront with 150 hotels. By 2019, tourism was booming. Over 350,000 Chinese tourists visited, generating about $175 million in revenue. Westerners, though fewer around 5,000 annually, could also visit, braving strict rules and constant surveillance. You could fly from Beijing to Pyongyang, stay in luxury hotels, and see curated sites like the Juche Tower or the Korean War Museum. But everything changed in 2020. When COVID-19 hit, North Korea was the first country to seal its borders on January 22, 2020. The closure was total no tourists, no exceptions. The economic hit was massive, with tourism losses alone estimated at $175 million by 2021. For over 4 years, North Korea remained a fortress. Then, in February 2024, a crack appeared. Russian tourists were allowed in, a nod to North Korea's growing alliance with Russia amid the Ukraine war. In February 2025, a bombshell followed. 13 Western tourists from countries like the UK, Canada, and Australia were permitted to visit the Rasan Special Economic Zone, the first such visit in 5 years. They crossed from China, toured factories and monuments, and shared their experiences online. But just weeks later, in March 2025, North Korea slammed the door shut again, canceling all Rasan tours without explanation. Why the sudden reversal? It's like a roller coaster that climbs high only to plummet. 3 key reasons explain this economic shift. Arms over tourists. North Korea has found a goldmine in arms sales to Russia. Since 2023, it's earned billions selling artillery shells and missiles, plus $572 million annually from sending soldiers to fight in Ukraine. Compare that to the $175 million from tourism in 2019, and it's clear why tourism isn't a priority. Why deal with nosy tourists when you can cash in on war? Social media nightmare. The 2025 Rasan tourists posted YouTube videos that went viral, racking up millions of views. One showed empty streets, another typo-ridden propaganda billboard images that clashed with North Korea's narrative of prosperity. In a world where your smartphone can make you a journalist, the regime can't control what you share. This likely spooked them into closing Rasan. Geopolitical chess. North Korea's alliance with Russia, cemented by a 2024 Mutual Defense Pact, explains why only Russians are welcome. Russia provides military tech, support, and cash, making their tourists a low-risk bet. Westerners, with their cameras and questions, are a liability. A tourist's reality. What it's like if you ever visit North Korea, expect a tightly scripted experience. One tourist describes staying at the Yanggado Hotel as like living in a gilded cage, luxury with eyes on you. Another loved the Manjeongdae Fun Fair, saying, it's like any amusement park, but with propaganda posters instead of ads. Yet, the rules are strict: no photos of soldiers, no religious items, no South Korean media. One slip, like asking too many questions, can land you in trouble. A tourist recalled, I felt on edge the whole time, wondering if I'd broken some unspoken rule. So, where does North Korea's tourism stand today? As of May 2025, it's a locked vault, open only to Russian tourists and rare events like the Pyongyang International Marathon, which welcomed 180 foreigners in April 2025. The brief Rasan experiment in February 2025 was a flicker of hope, quickly extinguished. For you, the aspiring traveler, North Korea remains out of reach. But there's a glimmer on the horizon. The Wonsan Kalma Beach Resort, set to open in June 2025, signals North Korea's long-term tourism ambitions. Its 150 hotels and beachfront sprawl aim to lure Chinese tourists, who once fueled the industry. Yet, practical hurdles like China's slow border reopening and security fears may keep it empty for now. Imagine if you could visit. You'd wake in a Pyongyang hotel, its marble floors gleaming under chandeliers. You tour the Juche Tower, gazing over a city frozen in time, or visit the DMs, where the Cold War lingers. You dine on kimchi and rice, shadowed by guides ensuring you see only the approved sites. At night, you might catch the mass games, a dazzling display of synchronized performers. But every step would be watched, every photo vetted. Will North Korea ever fully open? It's unlikely to become a tourist hotspot like Japan or Thailand. The regime's obsession with control clashes with tourism's openness. As long as arms sales to Russia bring in billions, the incentive to welcome you is low. Plus, the risk of you spreading news, especially about North Korea's secret role in Ukraine, is too high. Ukrainian intelligence estimates 1,000 North Korean soldiers have died in the war, a fact hidden from their own people. One careless tourist could spark questions the regime can't answer. Yet, tourism is soft power. Kim Jong-un might use it to signal openness, especially if relations with the West improve. Talks with the US, hinted at in 2025, could shift the calculus. For now, though, North Korea is a closed book, its pages open only to a select few. So, what's the takeaway for you? North Korea's tourism history is a roller coaster of ambition and retreat, driven by a regime caught between needing your money and fearing your influence. It's a story that challenges what you think about travel, control, and the power of a single image in today's connected world. If this journey into North Korea's secretive world fascinated you, drop a comment. Would you visit if you could? What do you think the future holds for tourism there? Hit like, share this video, and subscribe for more dives into the world's hidden corners. Comment if this changed how you see North Korea.